Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Muy buenas noches. Mi nombre es Víctor Rivero y esto es CG, un programa abierto para toda la comunidad gay y sus aliados. El tema de hoy es un tema muy interesante. Vamos a hablar sobre las fabulosas drag queens. Ellas son hombres que visten de mujeres diario a diario, aquí en la ciudad de Houston y nos entretienen en distintos bares. Para eso tenemos a Violet Labert. Ella es una de las dragas más famosas de aquí de esta ciudad. Vamos a hacer la entrevista en inglés porque solo habla inglés. Así que Violet, welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Hi, everybody. Wait, hola todos? Is that right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, you got your Spanish right. Poquito, poquito. Okay, Violet. Let's get straight to the point. Why don't you tell us about your life. Tell us about your personal history. Where are you from? Where do you come? And where do you want to go?
That's all boring. Well, I am 27. I was born and raised here in Houston, Texas. I went to school for fashion in Georgia, a college in Georgia. I've done drag for about 4.5 years, and I don't know, it's fun. It's just like a form of self-expression. It's kind of an artistic thing, and I get to make a lot of my costumes, so I'm sort of using my degree.
So you sew most of your stuff?
I sew a lot of my stuff. I would say probably about 40% of my costumes are ones I've made myself.
And you do them all at home, or you have a little studio all at home?
Well, I have a workspace at home, but
okay.
I mean, it's like a room to sew in. So everything in my room is for Violet. Drag takes over everything.
So why do you choose this profession? You got being a doctor, you got being, well, I know, being a doctor.
I can't be a doctor. I can't deal with all the mess. Well, actually, I fell into drag. I used to do modeling when I was in college. Okay. And I was growing out my hair to donate it. It was, when I cut it, it was like, I can't even sit. Like down to there. But I started getting booked for modeling gigs, and then as my hair got longer, they were more androgynous. And after a certain amount of time, I just was made up to be a girl for the different shoots I did. So eventually it progressed to doing, like, going out in drag, and then it was performing in drag, and then, yeah. But I don't know, I never really set out to do drag. I never, like, wanted to do it. Not that I didn't want to, but I thought it would be fun in college. And then after I moved back home to Houston to be with my mom, I needed to get a job quickly, and I got this one within a month and a half, actually. So I've just always done it. It's just been, not that it's convenient, but it's always been the most convenient thing.
It's always, I guess, you had practice with your modeling, and then this led to, one thing led to another. I never thought I was going to be on TV and looking at that.
I thought you would. Different show, though.
Whoopsie. But besides your career, talk about the drag world. I mean, what it is to be a drag, because we have to be clear. Being a drag is different from being a transvestite, and that's different from being a transsexual. Like the word says. Transsexual is the person that changed sexes because they believe they were born in the different genders. So, for example, a guy that turns into a girl, or vice versa. Transvestite could be used sexually. A straight man can just like, you know, dressing as a woman to have sex. You never know. That's one of the transvestite things. Another kind of transvestites are the ones that do it for fun. So people, day-to-day people who just want to go out dressed in the other sex, and they just do it because it's something that they like to do. And then I like
Some people just like heels. I'm short, so I love heels.
So I think drag queen should be like a whole new category, because yes, it could be related to transgender people. Yes, it could be related. Well, it is a form of transvestite. So, will you explain to us a little bit how does that world develop? How do you come up? Do you have, I heard you have a drag mom sometimes, and then you become a drag mom, and that's how you create the family. Some people pass on the same last name, the same drag last name, because your name's Jacob.
Yes.
Let's just say Jacob. And then you're Violet Labert whenever you're doing your show.
Labert, what's that?
Labert, that's how you, I don't know how to pronounce it. How would you pronounce it?
Violets are blue.
Like,
do they have like poetry in Spanish, like roses are
yeah.
red? Okay, so just, because in English we have, it's a lot of poems start, roses are red, violets are blue. the sky is pretty and so are you. You know,
Yeah.
stupid stuff. But so I'm Violet Sarper. But Violet, you can just call me Violet.
Violet. So Violet, tell us a little bit about that word. How do you come up to make your drag family?
Yes. Well, traditionally, going way back, a lot of gay guys had a hard time finding like acceptance and a place in society, and a lot of times, sadly, even today, people who are gay or come out as gay or even, you know, okay, well, let's get back to that. People who come out with something their family doesn't approve of can be, you know, disowned for things. You know, sometimes it's a drug use, sometimes it's whatever, sometimes it's being gay. Luckily, my family doesn't have a problem with it. Or sometimes they're okay with you being gay and then doing drag, they're like, oh, I can't handle this, and then they disown them for that. So traditionally, when you had a drag family, it was you were someone who was gay and you wanted to perform, or you found some sort of thing with that, and it would be the people who took you in, the people who loved you, like, because you didn't have your own family, so you had to make one. And I've been very fortunate that I don't have to do that, and I know a lot of people today don't have to do it as much as they used to, but it still happens, sadly. And when you have drag mothers today, they don't need to be quite as intense in your life as they used to be. If you've, you know, because we were just talking in the car about the movie, it used to be that you would leave your house, you'd be kicked out, you'd have nothing, and you would move in with people who would love you, and that was like your family, your drag family, your gay family. So they would all have the same last name. You know, way back you have like Extravaganza, you have LaBeija, that's back to like the 60s. Yeah. In Texas we have the Andrews, the Crawfords, the Rosses to an extent. I'm sure I missed a big one, so sorry. And they probably are ones who speak Spanish too, so they'd be real mad. But we don't have that so much anymore, thankfully. But that's where the big shared last name comes from. It's also when you start doing drag, you find a drag mother who's someone you look up to, someone whose performance style you really like, and you ask them to mentor you, to help you with stuff. And because they'll teach you all their tricks and tips, and you go together, you know, and you go out with them, and they show you how to do makeup, and maybe you borrow costumes or things, and maybe you don't.
In your case, I guess you'll show them how to sew.
I've never really, no one's really asked me. Like, my kids don't ask about that. I have a couple. One of them doesn't want to learn how to sew, but the stuff he wants to make is going to be ridiculous, so I'm just going to make it for him. But I do show them how to do their makeup, because, you know, I'm not unpretty, but there's a mustache under here. So I will show them things like that. But because they show you who they are, and you sort of, what's the word? Sometimes model yourself after them a little bit, so you would be another person of the same name. So you have, we have a Texas legend named Tommy Ross. She's just Diana Ross. She has big hair, gorgeous rhinestone beaded costumes, and one of her drag daughters is Christina Ross, who also has big things and beaded costumes. And I think Marco is actually Tommy's kid too, but it just sort of, you know, travels down, and then you have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and that's, when you're 40 and you have great-grandkids, that's too much for me. I have 3 children, and that's all I think I need.
And you're 27, you still have that body.
Well, most of the body comes off. Oh, speaking of which, we were talking about the differences. Yes, no, I'm a drag queen. When I take all this off, I'm a guy. So, but some people aren't, and that's perfectly fine. It's just about discovering who you are, expressing yourself. Violet, personally, for me, is sort of all of the things that I don't like about Jacob. I know that sounds terrible, but my voice is higher than I would like. I'm really old-fashioned. I'm kind of uptight. And as Violet, people love that because she's prim and she's retro. But as Jacob, I'm boring, so nobody likes that. I know a lot of people who are something in drag that they can't be in their real lives. One of my friends is an accountant, so when he's his drag persona, he's this big dancer, 70s, lots of arms, big hair, and he goes buck wild, and he loves it, and that's great for him. It's a good confidence thing.
I think it's creating, I think it gives you a freedom that maybe as who you usually are, you don't allow yourself. I think it's a way to
Well, when you get to be a fake
window.
person, you can do whatever you want.
Whatever, 'cause
and if
it's
somebody
like,
hates her, you can just wash her off.
And also, it's not, they're not criticizing you, they're criticizing Violet. So Jacob.
Well, I do take it very personally.
Well, I know. But Jacob will probably be like, if somebody will come to you and you're Jacob, you'll probably say something like, you know what, that's Violet. But you have to go talk to her.
That's true, I do.
You know?
She's got her own, she takes over everything. But yeah, so no, I can take mine off. And actually, a lot of times when people do transition, like transsexuals, and they change genders, they might start out as drag queens and discover, oh, I really like being a woman more than I do being a guy. So they, you know, decide they want to be this all the time. I don't. That's too much upkeep. I don't want to shave. I don't want to deal with all that.
It's a lot of work. It is definitely a lot of work.
This takes like 2.5 hours, so that's not worth it.
Just to do the makeup?
Just for the makeup.
Wow.
I can do it faster, but if I want to look real terrific, I can even see we have a little monitor, and I'm just like, oh.
All right, Violet, right now we're going to go on break. Bueno, amigos, nos vamos ahora a un mensaje, pausa comercial, y ya regresamos con mucho más de CG con Víctor Rivero y con Violet Labur. Nos vemos en un segundo. Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos de regreso a CG. Hoy estamos aquí con Violet Labur. Un poquito difícil de decir su nombre. Violet La Azul. How do you say your last name again?
Star Blue.
Star Blue.
It doesn't really translate. You can call me Violeta estás azul.
Violeta está azul. Ahora no sabemos por qué. Bueno, la entrevista la estamos haciendo en inglés, así que vamos a seguir un poco con esta entrevista. Violet, we were talking about getting ready. We were talking about all that it takes to get ready. We already talked about your family. So tell us a little bit. You said it was 2.5 hours, 3 hours to get ready just on the makeup.
Well, yeah. I mean, it can go faster. It does go a lot faster usually. But I had to be real pretty today.
You're always real pretty. You're always pretty fishy, if you want to say it that way.
Oh yes, we can talk about slang for things.
Yeah.
If you say, for drag, there's different things that people want, different goals. I would be...
There's the bug.
There's a bug. I'm so sorry. They just think I'm on meth now. Hi.
You're hallucinating.
No, I'm not gonna, sorry. No, there's different things that you can do. You can be like over-the-top drag, where it's real wild and like animalistic. We have some of that. Well, one of the shows I work at is at a bar called F Bar here in Houston, where we have a full spectrum really of all the different kinds of performers. We have 3 girls who are transsexuals, and we have 3 girls who are drag queens. We have some older legends, some who do like celebrity impersonations. We call that illusions in drag, where you mimic famous people. People like Celia Cruz or Dolly Parton or Madonna. We also have dancing, like they do choreography and all that. I don't do that. But we have a couple girls who do that. We have people from the low end, where it's very minimal makeup. Well, not me, I'm not the minimal, but when you have less makeup and you're more natural, they would call that fish. It means you're closer to a real girl, all the way up through like showgirl and painted when you have a lot of makeup on, up to like drag, like wild drag. We have like Charo Beans DeBarge, who's in our show there. She speaks Spanish. She won't be on the show though.
Yeah, I know.
For her family. I can say her name though. I just thought about it. I was like, but yeah, so she's just really, she has huge hair. She wears like rainbow colors and all rhinestones. She's so much fun. So it's a good show. It's a great show. We have a full range, usually something for everybody. And then the other show I work at is a piano bar, where it's sort of more fishy type girls, but we have like an old school vibe. It's a lot of fun. But for as, let's say, natural as I might look sometimes, it still takes a lot of effort. I have like 3 or 4 different colors of foundation, and then you powder it, and then you have eyeshadow and eye makeup and glitter. And then you know, do a lot of stuff, and lipstick and eyelashes, and then you have to put on all your jewelry and your hair and your body, because if you can't see mine, I didn't have to pat bad. I'm sitting
Oh,
down.
come on, you can stand
you-
up. Show it up. Come on, show it up.
All right.
Everybody wants to see it.
Oh, God.
Look.
So just a little shapeliness. So it's also my fun dress.
All
All right. Now see if I can get back in the chair as gracefully.
It's not.
Oh, I'm sitting on my microphone.
It's all right. So,
but yes.
how many wigs do you say you have?
Realistically, I would probably say I have close to 100 wigs.
And do you hang them all, or how do you keep them?
Well, it depends on what they are. I keep mine in a dresser, honestly. But right now I'm wearing 2. There's a lot of hair in the back. I should have given them the full turnaround. I'm not getting up again. I have all sorts of colors. I've got blonde hair, red hair, brown hair, black hair, short, long, straight, curly, colors, pink, purple, red, orange. Pieces that I've made, like they're shaped like bows or bunny ears or bang things, long ponytails, all sorts of a range of things because I like to mix up my look a lot. I guess I'm known for my versatility in like appearance and the different kinds of costumes I wear. I have a lot of clothes.
Yeah, because I've seen you in modern things, like Lady Gaga, and you have also done Madonna, and you like to do a lot of old school things
I do
too.
love the
yeah,
old school
like
things.
you did Liza Minnelli
Yes.
on
Saturday.
yeah, on Saturday.
And Florence, well, they probably don't care about Florence and the Machine.
Well,
But
it's okay.
Florence and the Machine, so something very old and something very new. But yeah, I keep them in like a dresser. I keep them on shelves. Right now they're on the floor because I just moved. I don't have my furniture yet. And then I have styled wigs from a wig maker here in Houston called Lupe, who makes all of Charo's wigs, which are gorgeous. So
They're really, I've seen them, they're amazing.
They're really
huge
stunning.
wigs.
And you have to keep them on heads because they're all styled, and so you keep them on shelves on your little. You have this like army of white faces with this big hair.
I guess you can say you're always protected.
Yes, it's like a little sentinel army of wigs. And then I have a good amount of jewelry. Nice big jewelry. Oh, nope, that one's caught in my hair. Just some big jewelry. I had to bring good stuff for you guys. It was on TV. So I have, oh God, I must have like close to $8,000 worth of jewelry.
Wow.
Well, I've been drag for 4.5, 5 years, and it is my job. So the money that I make pays for my rent, thank God, and then goes to jewelry and costumes and everything. I've got 6 racks of clothes or so for Violet.
Because you need it, I saw how you have like that outside closet. Because your
Oh
closet
yeah, that's
was
not even
full.
all of it. That's like a third of the things because they're all still at my mom's house. Yeah, she's quite the production being as demure as she is, but you know,
Well,
and I'm short. So.
It takes a lot to be drag, I guess.
It does, yes.
It does take a lot. So besides the wigs, besides the dresses, tell us a little bit more about your inspirations. We already know you do different years. We already know you do back and forth. But who would you say it's like that's who I model my drag after? Who would you say gave you that maybe that little spark, that starting spark that started your Violet?
I went to school for fashion, of course. So from modeling, I would do a lot of looks kind of artistically in that vein, and I love doing high fashion things. I love creating visuals and artistic looks, stuff like that. But I've been called by my audience the thinking man's drag queen. I have no idea how to translate that because I like to do kind of intellectual things that require thought. I put a lot into the hair that goes with the costume, that goes with the look, that goes with the accessories.
So more of a fashion statement.
Yeah, so it's about an interesting visual, a colorful something.
Well, you are an art student, so I guess you applied everything you learned.
So I use like modern art and movies and TV shows to really influence what I do and stuff like that. As far as drag inspirations, I'm not inspired by drag. I'm inspired by people, by looks, by art everywhere. So I try to look at as much as I can, take in as much as I can, watch a lot of TV, read a lot of books, and just have that sort of mill about until it produces something.
Oh, very nice. Well, right now we're going to go on a little commercial break. So, amigas, muchas gracias por estar con nosotros. Ya regresamos con mucho más de Violet, la cual nos contará todo el resto de su historia y qué toma ser una excelente drag queen. Ya volvemos, no se separen de nuestra sintonía. Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Bienvenidos de regreso a Comunidad Gay. Hoy estamos aquí con la fabulosa Violet. Ella nos está contando todo eso que toma ser una excelente drag queen. Todos los pasos, todas las cosas que tenemos que aprender. Violet, let's talk about your shop.
Okay.
You already said all these places you work at. You already said what it takes to be a drag queen. Now, let's talk about how do you make it? Because you need to pay rent, you have bills. So where does the money come from? Yeah, that's a lot of makeup you have to buy, a lot of clothes.
Dolly Parton once said it takes a lot of money to look this cheap. And I try not to look cheap, so that takes even more money.
It's very expensive to be drag.
Yes, muy expensivo.
Muy caro.
Caro?
Caro.
Oh.
That's expensive.
I like the hands.
Yeah, that's right. It's money.
See, I learned something today.
There you go. And especially everybody's learning there too, so you're not the only one. So tell us, start by walking us through all the different shows you do, because you don't only do one show. I know you are at F-Bar Tuesdays, and then you
at
do
11 p.m.
At 11 p.m. You do a piano bar as well.
Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m.
And what's the name of the piano bar?
Michael's Outpost.
Okay. And what kind of shows do you do in each one? And
Well,
do you do any other ones?
Occasionally. Well,
Okay.
At F-Bar, we just have a show. It's just whatever we want to do, kind of glam, really fun. It's a lovely bar. We've won Best Drag Show in Houston for 3 years in a row. So come on out to that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Tuesdays at 11. My Michael's Outpost shows, there's one Friday and Saturday, both at 7:30 p.m. Our Friday show is a 20s to 50s style cabaret, like old school jazz and swing. So that's kind of fun. Lots of old school costumes and beads and glamour. Very up my alley. And my court. Oh well, at the end. And then the Saturday show is called Icons, which I'm sure the joke doesn't translate sadly, but it's about
Well, yeah, you get iconos.
Iconos? Okay.
Yeah, that's
well,
icons.
in English, we can say icons, E-Y-E-C-O-N-S, because it's a trick to the
Oh,
eye.
okay, to that.
But I don't think that translates.
No, it doesn't. Because it's a play on words.
Yeah.
So it's really
well, that's fine. I'm sure you all have plenty that I won't get to. But that show is about celebrity impersonations. So we imitate famous people. I do people like Judy Garland, Liza Minnelli. I do all the old ones. Judy Garland, Liza Minnelli.
Let's just call them
Edith
classics,
Piaf,
because they're not
the
really,
classics.
they never die. They're always like classics.
Oh, they did die.
Well, they did.
That's fine. But no, and I do have new ones. I have Robin, Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine, Kelly Clarkson, a little Mariah Carey. It's kind of fun, and Christina Aguilera. She's a little Spanishy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the last name Aguilera.
Aguilera. Yes. So those are a lot of fun. I love doing all the variety of shows I do because it's a nice challenge to keep me fresh. That's why I buy so much stuff. I have to do all these different people and different things. But yeah, you just you do the research, put the stuff in, you do the number, and hopefully people will tip you. That's how we survive.
So most of the income comes
I
from tips.
I do get a little bit of salary, which is very nice. My paychecks just about pay the bills. Like they don't pay for food or all of this. So the money that I make in tips is what I can put back into this and into feeding myself.
Yeah.
So I could stand to lose a few. So if it's a little light one month, that's okay. But buying the hair, buying the flowers and the things and the makeup, like everything that's on my body comes out of tips. So I'm very thankful that I've been able to do it this long and that I get enough. But yes, that's very helpful. And speaking on behalf of all drag queens, we greatly appreciate your generosity.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So would you say it's a lot like being, in terms of the money? It's a lot like...
it's a service industry.
Yeah,
we're
it is a
waiters.
service industry.
I mean, it's kind of selfish as far as waiters go because when you have a waiter, they're bringing you food, they're doing something for you, and we're kind of artists. Like drag is an expensive hobby, but thankfully people like it enough that they come out. So
Yeah,
I'm basically I'm putting myself on stage, hoping you like it, and if you do and you see fit, you give me a little bit of cash. So it's kind of like waiting. It's a little more selfish.
They should always tip. I mean, everybody should always tip. I think anybody, I've worked at the servicing industry, so I know.
Always tip your waiters.
Yeah,
I tip my cab drivers. I don't have a car, so I have to take cabs. So I tip my cab driver. I tip waiters. I tip bartenders, tip your bartenders.
And tip your drag.
Yes, and buy drinks, that's how we get paid.
So the more drinks you buy and the more you tip, the more fabulous you get.
Yes,
Okay, so
these earrings alone were $140, so.
wow.
Yeah. Yes, and the ring was $35. These are made by a fabulous jewelry maker. Her name is Lucinda Holiday. She runs a jewelry store called Made for a Queen.
Mm-hmm.
So easy enough, made for drag queens. There's also other fabulous jewelry makers. But yeah, there's a lot of fabulous industries related to drag.
Yeah, because they do have that. I've seen those silicone boobs, like the ones that are
breasts for boobs
the
for
breasts.
queens. But yeah, you have wig makers, costume makers, jewelry makers, just basically aimed at drag and stage performing. So we're like a play every week. But yeah.
I've seen the dresses too, because
I didn't make this one.
But usually in RuPaul they are advertising and the prices have to do with you know, their dresses and different stores and everything. But well, sadly, it's been our time is up.
I want to promote. Can I promote myself?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Well, if you like what you see, and you want to keep up with me, you can see me on Facebook at facebook.com/rosesarered. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Violet with a V. Violet with a V. Thanks, guys.
All right, bueno amigos, esto fue todo por hoy. Lamentablemente nos tenemos que ir, pero vendremos la semana que viene con mucho más de CG con Víctor Rivero. Recuérdense, todos los lunes y miércoles a las 9 de la noche, aquí por tu canal 2B Televisión. Nos vemos la semana que viene.